I want to talk about something that never, ever takes a W. I want to talk about NA Counterstrike for a little bit, which, look, it's not usually in my wheelhouse to talk about it, but because there's no point. The NA scene in Counter-Strike is essentially dead. Even the big NA orgs that have stayed in the space are in cahoots with Saudi, and they're fielding teams that aren't even entirely NA lineups. But just before we kind of get into just another really embarrassing week for Counter-Strike, frankly, I want to start by just talking about a couple of stories in NA that happened a while ago. I think it was like before I went on holiday, and I didn't pick them up for obvious reasons because I was away. But it really illustrates one of the problems that is evergreen in North America when it comes to Counter-Strike, and that is, how do you even build and develop a team? How do you do it? One thing I've noticed, and this isn't to make stereotypes or broad sweeping statements, but if it comes out that way, then whatever. One of the things I've noticed in my many years in Counter-Strike is there is a rot at the heart of NA, which is when players get presented with shortcuts, they can't help but take them. And I don't know if it's like just some fundamental cultural difference, or whether what people aspire to in NA is different than Europe. I don't know. You need to do 1,000 interviews and, compare and contrast all the data points. But what I do know is there's one thing that continually happens, and it's just bullshit. It's just the NA bullshit. It's so tiresome. People get into teams and they say they want to work, and then they don't, and then they have arguments and nobody ever improves, and then they kick this guy, and then on the darker side of it, they end up, match fixing or, cheating or whatever it might be. Or sometimes they just say, I could be a pro, but I make more money streaming, so I'll just go do that. And so there's all these things that have like slowly chipped away at the foundations of NA Counter-Strike. And I grew up in a time where we had enough NA players, I mean, particularly over in Source, but we had enough NA players across 1.6 and Counter-Strike Source that when the CGS kind of came rolling around, like, we were all hyped at the prospect of regular interactivity between the explosive, flamboyant NA style and the structured European style, because you didn't get that. LANs weren't like global like that. People obviously can't play online. There weren't enough money in the esports space to fly everybody out, so people rarely came together on a global level. And here the CGS, one of the reasons it excited people was because it was going to happen regularly. And so, I remember watching all of that stuff, and now it's like, I would put it this way, I'll use an example. Complexity need to make a roster change, right? Sorry, Jason, if you watch this. Complexity need to make a roster change. Realistically, it has to be Grim or Floppy. You have to pick one of those, because I think we can say now they're not going to develop beyond the players that they are. You need to decide which one is best suited to the roster and cut the other. But if you do that, where do you go? Which NA player is coming in for them? There isn't one you can go to. What are you going to do? Pick somebody up from Elevate? Wicked. Even NRG have come back and they go like, oh, we're recycling, automatic. He again gets another chance to flop because he's well regarded. So there isn't even any options anymore in NA. We unfortunately, NA is pancaked and crated to a critical mass where we're almost at the point realistically where, unless something drastically changes, you might not even have a top NA player in a few years. It could conceivably happen. Then there's not a talent pool to draw from anymore. And unfortunately, one of the things that stops that is this corner-cutting bullshit attitude from these young American players, mostly American, obviously Canadians going to be included in this. We're talking about North American. They come into the ecosystem. There's no one there to guide them anymore. All the old veterans have all essentially fucked off, or they're doing something else, or they've gone to Valorant, or whatever it might be. And they're just left to their own devices. Management is notoriously terrible in NA. There's no supervision or guidance for these players. And so they end up making bad decisions. And those bad decisions are often very costly decisions that have long-term ramifications. reasons. I'm not just talking about, oh, we got caught cheating in public, or we said something a bit too spicy on a Discord or whatever. I think that there'll be appropriate penalties meted out for that. But I'm talking about shit like this, and I'm going to tie this together with another story. But this was over on dust2.us. It's my boy M&M's again. And this is... it's so stupid, it could only happen in NA esports. And it's about a team called Perseverance. Ironic. right from the offset, they've persevered at absolutely nothing. Except the shittiest attempt to wheedle out of a game I think I've ever seen. Perseverance's fake text message deception behind the ECL ban. And it was announced that Perseverance had been banned from the ECL, and also they were going to be banned from all ESL Faceit Group competitions for 2 months, obviously because that falls under the umbrella. So I was like, what did they do? I was expecting it to be, because I looked at 2 months and I looked at the level of Counterstrike and I was going, match fixing. And that was my first assumption when I initially saw this story. And I was like, 2 months is a bit lenient, so it can't be. So what have they done? Well, what they've done is quite possibly the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Let me take you through it. So, today, the NACS2 community was shocked by ESL's announcement that Perseverance had been disqualified from ESL Challenger League System 48, while 5 members of their now former team, MDS, Gabe, I can never do this one, is it Kojamo or Kojomo? I feel like Kojamo is kind of cooler, but it probably is Kojomo based on the capitalization. Anyway, I've never heard anyone say it, so I've always gone with Kojamo in my brain, but it probably is Kojomo, whatever. Shutout and Cooper Trooper, everyone loves Cooper Trooper, had also been banned from the ESL Faceit Group event for 2 months. Within the ESL's announcement, the tournament organizer was sparse on details, stating that the team had submitted false evidence to mislead the tournament administration in an effort to have an ESL Challenger League match rescheduled. However, via an investigation, and listen, I love that you investigated this, but also to be fair, you didn't have to work too hard to uncover this one. I'm just saying, but still, it's brilliant story, love it. However, via an investigation by Dust2.us, new details have been revealed regarding the team's attempt to deceive the ESL Challenger League's admins in order to reschedule a July 18th match against Mythic. Sources with intimate knowledge of the team tell Dust2.us that Perseverance aimed to falsify potential weather-related power issues at Shutout's house in order to be granted an emergency reschedule of the aforementioned Mythic match. A source told Dust2.us that this attempt at subterfuge was undertaken in order to ensure the team would be able to play the best of 1x2 versus Mythic with Nelvin News Gonzalez in place of Chance Zayla Palmer, who the team officially kicked on July 24th. The source alleges that due to a variety of factors, News would be unable to play with the team by July 18th, leading the lineup to fabricate the chance of a power outage in order to convince the NAECL admin, oh so dank. This industry's a fucking joke. I'm a 39-year-old man. I agree with all of you Zoomers now. Like, I need to start a family and stop doing this. You were right the whole time. I'm having a fucking out-of-body experience reading this right now. It's like, it's just a joke. Like, your admin is called oh so dank. It's just too much. Anyway, to reschedule the match, the source shared a series of screenshots from the ECL Discord with Dust2.us, which Dust2.us has confirmed to be legitimate, that show Shutout attempting to convince oh so dank of incoming inclement weather via an Apple weather Doppler radar weather report and a supposed text from Shutout's power company. Now, more on that in a moment. But I just want to say, we'll kind of just outline. Here's what happened in just plain terms. Right? They kicked a player off their roster, par for the course in the lower levels of CS. Rosters generally don't tend to stay together if they don't attain success quite quickly. And they couldn't get the new player to be available in time for a game they wanted to use them for. And so, rather than some sort of compromise being, what are the rules about stand-ins? Do we have one registered? Can we use our coach? Etc. Or, hey, what if we ask the guy who we kicked, could you please just play this game and be professional about it? And sorry we kicked you, but, would you play against Mythic? Be a good opportunity. It's going to be streamed. If you have a pop-off game, there's something in it for you too. Or, simply, don't kick the player till you've sorted out everything with the other player and, maybe check the dates the new guy is going to be available for. Now, they didn't do any of that. What they thought to do was, well, why don't we send the admin, which someone in the chat has just said, D's nuts is a great name for an admin, yeah. So I'm just calling him that for the rest of the story. So they sent the head admin of the Super Serious League, D's nuts. Their choice of action was none of that. Not even come clean, not even forfeit respectfully or play it out with 4 or ask if there was a special dispensation. They immediately went to, let's put out fake weather reports and fake texts. Yeah, why not? Now listen, I get it, because if you know anything about NA, like I do, in the match fixing thing, power outages, the fake power outage, the fake weather report, oh yeah, that happens all the time. But go look at some of these games that were obviously fixed. Look at the people. Oh, my bloody internet's gone. Oh, there's a bloody storm. My bloody power's gone. Yeah, all rigged, right? So there is a proud NA tradition in there of faking these weather reports with the fake weather maps or whatever. But let's just also put this out there. Of all the things to fake, there's probably nothing you could choose that would be more easily verified than a fucking weather report. It's sort of mind-blowing. Just say, I've had a family emergency even. People are going to be, a bit more sympathetic about it. And we've all done that for work. I know people whose gran has died 4 or 5 times, It happens, right? People do it. But instead, you've gone with a fake weather report where you can just go online and you go, oh, yeah, well, it says there were no power outages. By the way, I don't know how it works in the US. I'm pretty sure it's true. It certainly works like this in the UK. I can just check if a postal code is out of power, if there's power cuts in that area. I can retroactively do it and see when there was downtime on the energy grid. That's just there, public information. I can just get that. So probably a fucking crazy thing to lie about, all things considered. But you know what? Maybe they pulled it off. Maybe they told a lie so precise and intricate and well crafted in nature that they just got super unlucky that people found it out. So let's have a look. My power company, this is Shutout, my power company is sending me alerts about power outages tomorrow and can show proof. Can we reschedule Mythic tomorrow? I'm in a heavy storm zone. Do you want a screenshot of this? And there he's added, oh so dank. Right, obviously that's been redacted. And you can see severe thunderstorm watch. Rain stopping briefly. There's the thing. All right, well, okay. Let's have a look at the accompanying text alert. Alert! The town of and close surrounding areas are at a high risk of power outages between 1 a.m. on July 18th and 1 a.m. July 19th due to ongoing storms and rain floods. We will, comma, capital letter. We will update periodically if we experience issues. Thank you for being a loyal customer! Exclamation point. Now, I'm not saying that the type of people whose job it is to put out alerts from companies would make mistakes in the typing. But as I've had 1,000 jobs, because I am rich, the ever living, and indeed the ever working, it seems. Let me just tell you a little bit about how it worked at the power company I worked for. Okay, now it's automated, and what happens is they are pre-written. The dates are the variables that just get inserted when you send them out, and the text is pre-written, pre-approved, pre-screened, and out they go. And so the chance of a typo is very small because the communication language is reviewed. That I think often it'll also go through a legal team because certain language needs to be, there's compliance and liability issues. And so lots of people review these pre-written messages that go out. And so you would notice a typo as egregious as X-Pi rents, right? Now, that isn't the only time. This is a mess. This is a mess. The idea that a professional company would sort of have this going out as their professional power company as an automated thing, that doesn't hold up at all. That doesn't hold up at all. I'm sure there's a better term for flooding caused by heavy rain than rain floods, right? Not a scientist. That's one of the jobs I haven't had. But rain floods, it's kind of a weird portmanteau, isn't it? Ongoing storms and floods. You would just say and floods. You wouldn't. I get it. I understand what's causing the floods because you've just told me there's storms. Right? Storms involve rain. Rain is when water falls from sky. Right? This is the level of science I operate on. Right? Water fall from sky. Lot of water go into water. Water go up. Water go out. AKA floods. I can honestly say, this is true, hand on heart, I've never heard the term rain flood. Now, this is where someone in the YouTube comments will go, well, actually, in America, we do call them rain floods to specify because we get so many different types of floods. And here's a Google link, and if you click on this, you could go, and then I'm going to delete that comment, and then somebody's going to reply, why did you delete my comment? You're censoring me. Been a fan for years, but lost all respect now. So, I've never heard the term rain floods. I've lived in America, never heard it there. Lived in Britain, never heard it here, travelled all around the world. No one ever's come up to me going, hey, what about these fucking rain floods? Never heard it. Never heard it. Never. Not once. Never heard rain floods. Like, floods, yeah, often caused by rain. If it's raining and there's flooding, I'm going to go ahead and assume the rain played some part in the floods. That makes sense. Again, water fall down, go into water, water come up, water go out. That is called a flood. So yeah, rain floods, not necessary actually. So let's start there because that's meant to be the power company notifying him of that, right? So maybe they're not meteorologists. And maybe that's just their internal nomenclature for flooding caused by heavy rains. Flash floods. Strong uptake for that in the chat, I've noticed. Yeah, I've heard flash floods, right? There you go. Somebody in the chat also said, this is Specs West Side, said, I've said rain flood once in my life, and that's because English is my third language, and that is what can happen when you try to translate literally in order to get the message idea out. So there you go. Maybe that's what was happening here. So, what do you call floods when the rain falls from sky, go in water, water go up, water come out? What do we call that? Rain flood. Okay. Yep. There's probably, I'll also get on. There'll probably be like some fucking Dutch term for flooding, and it'll be like Ranefluge, and then everyone will go, "See, rain flood's real, Richard. Your comedic rant not so funny now." Right, but anyway, it's not just about the rain flood. That's problematic. That's not just the problem, right? Immediately after rain floods, there is a comma. And one thing that the Zoomers struggle with is when you use commas, what we call in England a full stop, what the Americans call a period. They struggle with that. I have noticed that. You are struggling with that. You see, you don't start a new sentence with a capital letter after a comma. You don't do that. But sometimes the kids Oh my God, Reagan-Vlad. I almost had it right. Not bad. See, I understand. Anyway, you don't do that. What you do with a comma is you have like the additional component that a comma is essentially a way to like put together, lots of information, but have the sentence still flow in a kind of coherent way that you can understand, so you know what all of the stuff is. But what they have there is a comma and then a capital letter, which a capital letter, they come after a full stop or a period. So this also screams that it was written by someone that's young and makes that common mistake. Like when suddenly I woke up one day and 80% of Europe started using the word retarded with a T instead of a D. Literally, it was like a sea change. It was like, oh, it's a D today. And then I woke up. Why is everyone saying tarted? Why has that happened? Why did that happen? But and now it just happens all the time. It's just one of those things, You'll never forget where you were. So that also screams. And then, am I going to be generous and say expirants is a typo? I'm not going to be generous. That is someone who doesn't know how to spell experience. Yes, someone has took the I before E rule to heart. Also, it just reeks of just a complete lack of work ethic, I've got to say, which makes me think an NA player wrote it. Because you're on the fucking internet, buddy. I think you could just type the word you want to spell into the search engine and it will automatically correct it and give you the definition. You could then copy-paste that. You could have also, by the way, probably Googled power outage alert from power company, found a real one on the internet, just copy-paste it and change the dates. Didn't do that, though. You thought, what would they say? Right? Could have used ChatGPT. Could have done anything. So I'm going to say expirants is a type, not a typo. It's just whatever. That's probably how you spell it. But then also the final insult. No company that I know of that I've worked for would ever put an exclamation point or an exclamation mark, as we say in England, at the end of thank you for being a loyal customer. You see, the exclamation point, the clue is in the term exclamation. It means it's quite a shocking thing. It's something that you're, shouting or gesticulating, or it's kind of like meant to be a little bit surprising almost for the reader. It's to show you the level of emphasis that goes into the sentence. So where a company would say, thank you for being a loyal customer, and they would say it softly, and they would smile, and they would be like, oh, thanks. And they would try and be sincere. Okay? What's happened there is, thank you for being a loyal customer! That's what's happened there. And that's not how that would work. That sounds like Trump when he types on Truth Social in all caps. And every sentence ends with an exclamation point. Also a space before the exclamation point. Don't worry, that hasn't got lost on me. But it makes it its own little separate thing. And also, I will say, there are some languages that do have certain, sometimes the symbol we would put at the end goes at the start, and sometimes there is a gap, blah, blah, blah. But this is theoretically an American company, so they would know there is no space, and they would know not to use an exclamation point. So all of that said, there are a few red flags there. This one is the long and the short. Richard, this is why no one watches your stuff. You've just spent 15 minutes breaking down the English in a fake weather alert, in a story that is ostensibly about NA esports. Yes, look, I'm trying. I'm trying to spin straw into gold. I'm trying my hardest, guys. So yeah, a few red flags. Now, the story goes on. We're going to get into the heart of the investigation. By the way, if I was fucking D's nuts and you send me that, I'm going to go, are you taking the fucking piss, mate? like, fuck off. Like, do you think I'm stupid? That would be my first reaction. Now, I haven't talked to D's nuts. I don't know how D's nuts reacted, but I imagine it was something along those lines. But I don't know D's nuts, so anyway, these screenshots reveal a number of issues. Yeah, they do. With the team's alleged attempt at subterfuge, the most glaring of those being the shutout power company's seemingly misspelled expire rents in their message to customers. The phone number, blurred by dust2.us for privacy reasons, used to send the so-called alert, also appears to be Gabe's personal phone number. Right. Another lesson in this. When companies send out these alerts, very often it will be from an abbreviated number because they're not designed to have you call back, or it'll be from their call center number. Totally depends on what tech they're using. It's not just some dude company. I've got to send out the weather alerts today. Fucking hell. Better get started. Got 500,000 customers to fucking expire rents. I'll autocorrect. Don't worry about it. Right? And then they're going, oh, hang on. I'm not happy about this. Andy spelled expire rents wrong. I'm going to call the cunt back. You're just, fucking hell. Yeah, sorry, darling. Got to take this. Yeah. Well, I thought it would autocorrect. Right? That's not what's happening. There wouldn't be a real number there. Like, how have you fucked that part up? And this is what I mean about how lazy NA players are. Right? You're so lazy. Guys, I don't know how to break this to you. Maybe you're not as well versed in the internet as my boomer ass is. There are literal websites you can literally go to that will literally send out fake texts, seemingly from companies and all these. They're just out there. You can just type it in Google and you just get one. And then it looks real. I mean, even if you're not that internet savvy, you... Like, I don't know. Don't use someone in the squad's phone number. Like, borrow your dad's phone or something. Like, the levels of... If this was a murder, guys, like, I don't know what to tell you. Right, well, listen, I'll text out my alibi from your phone. There you go, officers. Nothing to see here, right? It's... I don't know if this is true, but it used to be the case. If you played in these ESL competitions, you had to put your phone number in as a point of contact, and so they can check it when you're doing all of that shit. So I don't know if they still do that. I don't know if there's like a change in GDPR or whatever. But anyway, the so-called alert also appears to be Gabe's personal phone number. While Dust2.us was unable to contact the player by said number via a text message nor a phone call, a source showed Dust2.us that he had communicated with the same number multiple times for CS-related matters. Additionally, using a publicly available lookup website, the phone number was claimed to belong to a Gabriel Shah. Right, lads. I can't express how disappointed I am in you. Not because you tried to weasel out of playing a fucking team that hasn't even won a game, right? Which is its own sad, pathetic thing. But this is so shit. This is such a shit attempt to wriggle out of anything. Like, this is pathetic. This is like... I can't express, like, you would have to be like educationally subnormal to think you were going to get away with any of this. This is ridiculous. This is like when kids try and get out of school by writing a note in their own handwriting, giving it to their parents and saying it's from the teacher. Like, do you know what I mean? Who's going to be fooled by any of this? What have you done? And then, just as the coup de grace, right? Additionally,
While circumstantial, weather data from nearby Wilmington Airport, Delaware, only around 50 miles away from Shutout's location on Apple Weather, shows that from July 17th to July 18th, there was only 0.73 inches of rain. I love that Eminem's has done this. This is like when 4chan found Shia LaBeouf's flag. We already had him, mate. We had him at the phone number, blood. You don't have to do this to him on top of it as well. You don't have to. You don't have to fucking do this. But he did do, and I love the fact you've done this, mate. Absolutely fucking wrecked him. 0.73 inches of rain, while wind speeds topped out at around 13 miles per hour. Conditions exceedingly unlikely to create a high risk of power outages between 1 a.m. on July 18th and 1 a.m. July 19th, as the text message alleges. Overall, these issues regarding the veracity of Perseverance's story of why they needed an emergency reschedule do not hold up to serious scrutiny, while similar scrutiny from ESL Faceit Group leading to the bans being applied today. Dust2.us attempted to reach out to the 5 banned individuals for comment regarding their alleged attempts to deceive ESL Challenger League admins. However, none of them responded. There you go. So, this is undoubtedly, and I don't say this flippantly, this is undoubtedly the most embarrassing lie ever told to weasel out of a match in the history of NA Counterstrike. You could have said anything. You could have done anything. You went for this, okay. There's even a way to pull off this lie. There's multiple ways to pull off this lie, and at least get it to a point where the admins have to say, there's something fishy about this, but we can't get them, so we're going to have to let it ride if it's in the rules. But you didn't. You didn't. You couldn't even do this fucking shit lie properly. For future reference, anybody wanting to tell this, don't use weather if you want to weasel out of a game against 0-6 Mythic. Shout out to Flom one time. If you don't use the weather. It's too easy to just look shit up. It's just too easy. But it isn't even the dumbest thing that's happened in NA recently. I want to just take you back in time to June. June was a busy time for me. Obviously, we had Pride Month and all the hypocrisy, and I was trying to stay on top of that. And So there was an even dumber story than this. It's one of the. This is a wild story that got massively I want to say downplayed. I guess because the players just sort of shit, and it doesn't matter. But I want to just. There wasn't anywhere to neatly fold it in. But this is good. It's illustrative of the problems within NA. And that is that I want to talk about NBG12, who is quite possibly the biggest shithouse in NA. Actual, just psychotic in terms of the things he's done. They don't make sense. So let's get into it. First of all, this is his Wikipedia page. Always a good place to start. And you will notice he was previously banned on ESEA for evading a previous ban, and he was banned temporarily on Faceit Pro League because he was trying to fix matches in order to, I believe, attain points and get higher up in the ranking. But he then followed that up by going to IEM Dallas, where he got, I believe, arrested, and ESL Faceit, for whatever reason, decided they didn't want to press charges for criminal trespass and attempted theft of player hard drives. Now, I heard lots of stories about it, but we'll stick to, first of all, the facts, and then we'll get to the rest. But this is the story. This is an NA classic, by the way. I don't think you're going to beat this at any point in the future. This is it. MBG12 detained, permanently banned following SSD theft at IEM Dallas. Eminem's again on this one, proving what an invaluable asset he is to Dust2.us. Now, also worth noting, an important detail. He'd been unbanned for a total of 60 days from Faceit. I don't know why they unbanned him. I don't know the details of the appeal or why they decided to lift the ban. He then traveled to IEM Dallas and did this.
60 days after being unbanned, he goes and does this. So Dust2.us has confirmed on multiple sources that Adam MBG12 Zanzul was detained by authorities at IEM Dallas 2024 in the early hours of May 31st after trespassing and stealing several solid-state drives designated for player use. The former Elevate, it's always Elevate, the former Elevate stand-in was barred from the event and has been permanently banned from the Faceit platform for his actions over the weekend. NBG12 admitted he gained access to an unsecured backstage production area where he was able to steal Stewie 2K's, Nico's and Nertz's SSDs. So to just explain, when at the tournaments, players do their setup with admin supervision. They get their drivers on there and they do whatever they have to do. They install all the cheats that all the pros are using, that we're all covering up, just for the back sucks people, because I'm sure they look up to this MBG12 guy as a legend. We'll more about that in a second. They put all of the stuff they need to play on there, and then the physical SSD is kind of put in, for when they need to play. And that's that, and that's what the admins do. And so somehow he had been able to gain access to where those player hard drives were kept, and he took them. I've heard various stories from my sources behind the scene as to what his motivations were, but we'll do the rest of the story first. But it's madness that more people haven't been up in arms about this story. Because you're going to go, oh, who cares, Richard? He's a fucking nobody and the police caught him. Okay, cool. I'm not worried about the theft, right? That's whatever, really. Don't steal, kids, but, I mean, whatever, right? Imagine he'd not been a total fucking moron. He'd gained access. He was able to put something malicious on there, right? And then a player gets banned, or maybe he could have been in cahoots with someone and could have put something on there that wasn't meant to be there. I mean, we get back to the tale as old as time, don't we? Which is, esports security is terrible and people can just get backstage and do all sorts of fucking heinous things. Now, picture unrelated. The baffling decision by the 19-year-old semi-professional player comes just 60 days after he was unbanned from Faceit as ESL lifted his 100-year ban evasion ban due to new policies on the platform. While Dust2.us had confirmed on multiple sources that NBG12 trespassed and engaged in theft of the SSDs at the IEM Dallas 2024 on May 31st, in a strange and legally inadvisable move, NBG12 went on stream yesterday with Take Flight player and streamer Kojimo, it's your boy, to discuss the incident. Right. Now, there's something else I've noticed about NA players. Whenever they do bad things or stupid things, they, or just in general, like, guys, like, I have never seen so many self-snitches and, like, just fucking rats in general. Like, just people ratting out each other's shit. Like, it's insane. Like, 50 subs and I'll tell you what the lineup is. I'm just going to go on Steam. And, oh, whoopsie doodle, you've just found out who's joining a team. Oh dear, I've said something about a player. It's like, guys, like, for fuck's sake. Like, I didn't think it would apply to a literal fucking crime. That you would be like, oh, wait till I tell the world about this. No, you've committed a crime. Don't tell people. Just, no, nobody needs to know. Wait, at least wait for the statute of limitations. Like, don't. I'll get on a stream and tell them around. 50 subs and I'll do 10 years inside. They just can't help themselves. It's so bizarre. Right? And anyway, he went on the stream and look, in the hour plus an hour of self-incrimination, like, for attention. Oh, fucking God, please. In the hour plus interview with Kojimo, MBG12 admitted to gaining access to a backstage production area at IEM Dallas 2024, stealing Stewie 2K's, Nico's and Nertz's SSDs from a large pile of SSDs. He then admitted to bringing the hard drives back to his hotel room at the Omni Dallas Hotel. It is important to note that the Omni Dallas Hotel is connected to the K. Bailey Hutchison Convention Center via the Skybridge. At the beginning of the, I mean, am I playing the clips? I guess I'm playing the clips.
All right, man. So recently you have received a 5-year ban on Faceit out of nowhere. Nobody really knows the story of what's going on. What happened? What, like, start from the beginning. What led to this ban happening? That's so confusing.
Do you know anything like at all, or?
No, I mean, people like are saying like this, that, but I genuinely don't understand what happened.
Yeah. Okay. So like a quick TLDR is, I went, or I was like let into the venue like during the night, and I like took stuff. I was like somewhere where I wasn't supposed to be, and I took stuff that I wasn't supposed to. That's just like a quick TLDR, but there's like a lot more details to make it. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, what led you to take stuff from people? Like, well,
Immediately saying as well, by the way, I was just let in. I was let in to a place I wasn't supposed to be. I mean, again, don't know. Guess nothing bad could come from that in America.
I'll just start from the beginning. At around like 4 a.m.
okay, 4 a.m.
So yeah, this is Thursday. I like flew there Thursday, and I thought my friends were gonna be there, but they weren't. They're coming like the day of, like on Friday. So I didn't have like a place to stay, so I was just sitting in the hotel lobby, like after everyone left. Like I was just gonna wait for them to come until 10 a.m. and put my like shit in there, right? And then I don't know, I was just like sitting there like on Discord, just trolling or whatever, and like the venue, it's a little difficult to explain because there aren't like visuals, but there's like this like big glass door. There's a lot of like big glass doors, and I guess this lady saw me or whatever, so I didn't like motion or anything. She just like let me in. She thought I was like supposed to be there or something. And I keep in mind I am in Discord during this, and it was just like, oh my god, this is so derpy. You're not supposed to be there. This is like fucking, you know what I mean? Just like that whole like, it's just like for fun. And like I did say this to everyone. It's a little difficult, but pretty much, yeah. I'm like at this point, I'm just like in there. I'm just like walking around.
A new follower.
And I guess like the stuff that actually matters is I ended up in like this, like I don't know how to describe it, like a security room. I don't really know like how to describe it, but it was just like a room.
A new follower.
There was just like a bunch of tables in there. I was just like looking around. I wasn't supposed to be there. And then there's like the production stuff backstage. And that's like where what they got like super upset at me for, because they were whenever you play at like an event, it's like a big event, they have you, because this happened to us at the RMR, they have you like put your stuff up, like your config and your settings, all of that like onto like an SSD beforehand. So whenever you get ready to play, you just like they just plug it in for you.
It's
and
really
it's like,
easy.
like yeah.
Cool of him to explain what I just explained. Thanks for that, mate.
bro.
Oh, now it's loud.
Let's go, Boo. Appreciate
Boo PCs go just resubbed for 1 month.
Like, this is it. This is everything wrong with it. I'm more annoyed at Kojumo's stream right now. You've just got, right, you're using a controversy in classic NA fashion to drive attention to your streamers. You're meant to be doing this like serious interview. You can't hear him. He's just in the background because it's actually not relevant. It wouldn't matter what the drama is. You're putting it on stream. I got fucking new follower. Do while the guy's like confessing to the shit he fucking did. And then you're just like not even listening to the motherfucker. Like muting it so he can't hear you. And you're going, yeah, thanks for the sub, man. All about the subs, dude. Come on, bro.
Thanks for the sub, bro. Appreciate it. Let's go, Boo. Appreciate
Boo PCs go just resubbed for 1 month.
Okay, wait. You took them.
Yeah, you should have been listening.
Wait. You took them.
Yeah,
Where did you take them? Like, what was the idea?
No, I just kept them. Like,
Oh, you still have them?
No. There's so much more, dude. The police fucking came to me. There's a lot that happened.
Dang, bro. What the heck? They sent the police on you?
It's hard work. It is for me. Yeah, the guy that trespassed and then stole property. Matt, dang, bro. They called the police for that. Like, what privileged fucking shit are you on where the police wouldn't be called for that? Like, what world do you live in? Dang, they call the po-po on you, bro. Like, yeah. 100 fucking %. It's amazing that ESL just have said we don't want to press charge. Like, 100% press charges. But the reason ASL didn't press charges, spoiler, is they didn't want this story to be any bigger than it had to be. Because guess what? It's their bad. It's their bad. It's their bad. Security have allowed someone to go into an area. Players' reputations were literally put on the line. They failed to protect the environment for their competitors. So yeah, we'll try and kill that one with silence. Dang, bro. Somebody call up D's nuts and ask him the weather, bro. It's like everyone left in NA is just fucking playing in a sandpit full of dickheads. It's just I don't even know what you would call that, but they're just all in there, and it's like they're all interlinked, and it's like, you know, like this is how you end up with people saying stuff like going, oh, we knew he was fixing the matches, but we played with him anyway because he's a cool guy. And you're like, what is, like, nobody wants to make it anymore in NA. It's just like nobody deserves to make it anymore in NA.
They did.
That's actually crazy. So how did they figure out it was you though? So you took the SSDs that were on top.
There are cameras and stuff, and I.
Yes, there are security cameras in the convention center that you trespassed in, and then you did the thing, and you did it all on camera. Yeah.
I do look like MBG12, so.
You do look like you, yes.
Dang, bro, you didn't try to like do a GTA barber thing where you get and like change your hairstyle, like anything, bro.
I mean, maybe.
So when did you become aware that they knew that you did that, or did they just like come up on you and surprise you?
Yeah, they jump scared me.
Really? Where did they get you? What the heck?
The venue. I'll go into that, but I gotta.
Okay.
I gotta finish this little.
Yeah.
Right. Well. Also, I mean. Yeah, he didn't just change his haircut instantly like you can in video games. Dang. Also, the idea that... And I keep saying the idea, and Joe Biden says it all the time, and it fucking bothers me. Joe Biden stole my shit. He literally says it every sentence. I say it every, 50 sentences. But there's one guy in chat keeps spamming it every time I say it, and I'm gonna have to put a post-it note on the fucking monitor because he's doing my Sweden. But I'm gonna repeat it again. The idea that a change of haircut would flummox the police, he goes in, no mask, takes the SSDs, goes back to his hotel room. Hello, officers. I think you'll find that I'm a short-haired individual that certainly hasn't committed any crimes today. Yeah, you do look a lot like that guy we got on that camera, and you're even wearing the same clothes, but, we're going to have to let this one go. Yeah, just come on, for fuck's sake. Anyway, it does get better. At the time of publication, a picture... The self-preservation instinct on this guy, you almost have to respect his total lack of it. At the time of publication, a picture of NBG12 allegedly holding Stewie 2K's SSD was shared with the people NBG12 streamed on to Discord. Dust2.us has confirmed the SSDs match those used at IEM Dallas, but was unable to verify the picture came from NBG12's private stream. So just another word of advice. If you are going to do crimes, don't do crimes. Crime bad. But if you're going to do crimes, don't stream the crimes as you're doing them to an audience. Oh, yeah. I have just noticed the Coke thumbnail. What the fuck? Yeah, that's a long thumbnail. I don't know. Probably should cut that. Anyway, don't know why he's got that. But there he is. They're supposedly holding the picture. Oh, we got another.
They also thought I took other stuff, which I just didn't. They ended up just finding it later on. When they realized I only had a certain amount of stuff, they ended up actually telling me that I would have charges pressed against me, but then the officers talked to them, and they did manage to bring it down. So I don't have any charges. I'm not banned from any events. I just wasn't allowed to go to the venue for 2 days. I don't have anything outstanding towards me except I guess the ban.
Well, that obviously changed. Later in the stream, MPG-12 claims he was detained by the Dallas Police Department after ESL determined he was responsible for the Fairfire security cam footage. He even provided a picture to Kojimo, allegedly of him in a backstage area with Dallas Police and ESL staff. He claims that the police and ESL elected not to charge him with the crime but banned him from the event. At the time of the stream, MPG-12's ban was originally for 5 years before ESL made it permanent today. Before his ban was made permanent, MPG-12 attempted to make a case for why he deserves a shorter ban, with his scattered and spurious explanation revolving around the theft, simply being trolling that he's a moron, no lies detected, and that he has never been arrested or done something like this before. He said, I've never done anything like that before, and then it comes down. When asked for comment, MBG-12 claimed he was influenced by marijuana usage and wanton reckless behaviour for his actions. In taking the SSDs, he thought it would be a significantly more minor violation than it was. In his own words, NBG-12 explains that words cannot adequately express how humiliating and dejecting this has been. Sure sounded dejected on the stream he was on. I'm genuinely disgusted by my behaviour and am committed to learning from this experience. So it really is staggering. My understanding, and again, not a legal expert, I thought in Texas, oh yeah, someone's just typed it in the chat. I thought in Texas they hadn't legalized marijuana. I thought it was still illegal. So, oh, it is. He's in the chat. Oh God. Oh no. He's got a sub next. He's a 1 month subscriber. No, it has to be fake. Has to be. That can't be him. Yeah, well, it can't be him. It's not him. Nice try. But anyway, why you would even bring up the weed in a state that's quite draconian in its punishment about marijuana is also ridiculous. Also, don't want to sort of remind everybody, I've done lots of drugs. Lots and lots and lots of drugs. I've never taken a drug that has made me feel thefty. I've never done a drug and gone, you know what, I'd top this fucking high off right now, boys. Let's go fucking steal something. Yeah. No, it's never happened. Like, it's never happened. Never happened. Like, never got steely. Never, like, tied the fucking belt. Oh, that's some fucking good kleptomania, you know. Never. It's just never happened to me. Like, so, but I don't know. You know, maybe there's. They got that fire shit now. They got that new. They're on that fucking fire shit now. So, you know, it's like, maybe it does just make you fucking crazy. But anyway, there was a follow-up on this story. But just before we get to the follow-up, I do want to tell you about something that I heard. Somebody messaged me as this was going on back in June, and they said, wait till it comes out, the reason why he stole the SSDs and what he wanted to do. And I have no idea if this is true, because it's somebody that says they know the person and was talking to the person at that time. Might even have been one of the sources that collaborated with Dust2.us in this report. But they and Eminem's, if he's heard the same, will probably get in touch with me on Discord and say, yep, that's what I heard as well. But so this is unsubstantiated. I want to make that clear. I'm not saying this is true or not. But apparently, the plan was to put cheats on the SSDs and then try and get them back. Which, if that's true, okay, if that is true, I almost have to admire the super villainy of it all. That would be like, it's just about sending a message. You want to know how I got this nail? Like, he just on some fucking Joker shit. Like, I would fucking... that would be fucking amazing if that was true. Like, but I don't... I don't know. That's just what someone said. That was the plan. I mean, otherwise, I don't know. Like, well, what do you need those SSDs for? Like, there's nothing, like, remarkable about them. So we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, there was a follow-up to the story. Again, in... Dust2.us. And they went and they got the public police report. Back in early June, news broke, blah, blah, trespassing. The news of the player's brazen theft of equipment from the event, as well as his later permanent ban from the Faceit platform, became something of a cause célèbre in the Counterstrike scene, as it was the latest and most absurd chapter in MBG12's career. The player had previously received... we know all this. At the time of Dust2.US's original reporting on the incident, which followed the Kojimo stream, the publication filed a request with the DPD for more information regarding the incident. Following a lengthy delay, Dust2.US has received the police incident report, which has revealed new details about the May 31st incident. Dust2.US has opted not to publish the full police report due to it containing MBG12 and an ESL Faceit Group employees' addresses, as well as other private information. The narrative information compiled by a DPD officer reveals that MBG12 was caught on security camera entering a backstage area where he was recorded stealing 3 SSDs, a key, and a jacket. Now, you'll remember... He did say on that Kojimo stream, we heard the clips, he said he didn't take anything else and he'd been accused of taking these other things, but he totally didn't. But it's a matter of police record that he took those things, and it's on camera that he took those things. So, I mean, listen, I'm not saying an upstanding guy like MBG12 would lie. I'm not saying that. But it is interesting. Then it goes on to say, more interesting is ESL Faceit Group's decision to not press charges as long as MBG12 returned the stolen goods, which he did after being escorted to his hotel room at the Omni Hotel, Dallas. After returning the goods, MBG12 was advised not to return to the venue. So, what was the key? That's way more interesting. What was the key for? And that sort of fits into the thing I heard about, he wanted to get back. Maybe it was the key for the door and he wanted to go back and put them back there. But again, I don't know. That's just what somebody said to me. But the key is kind of, wait, so you were going to be there for days and you were going to do it again. Also, what was the jacket? Well, let's imagine it was a jacket that was like, ESL branded or security branded or something like that. And so he has the key and he has the jacket, and now he can get in and out of the area. And this could have been really bad. Listen, all joking aside, you should have pressed charges against the piece of shit. But, MBG12, stealing some SSDs, it's only bad from a competitive integrity perspective, as I sort of see it from the top down. But had this person been a fucking really malicious actor, this could have been terrible. This could have been really, really bad. So, I don't know. But this is the problem that you got with NA. Right now, there is a cluster of players that are all sort of like this. They've all got these ties to all this shady shit they've done. They roll around playing games, racially abusing people, saying crazy shit, doing things, saying things, getting embroiled in match fixing, breaking the rules of leagues, playing on alts, whatever the fuck it is. They do all of this stuff and they think there's never going to be any consequences for it from a career perspective. But then what happens is either they never get the opportunity to make the next level of progression because people know about these things, people talk, and it's really undesirable if you're representing a professional organization, or they do get an opportunity to represent a professional organization, but their inherent nature brings this bad behavior out because it's never been corrected at any point, and so they do it again. Or, and this is generally what happens, it's actually disqualifying in some way. It's like they get found out after the fact. We saw this. We've seen this time and time again with players. I mean, look, I don't want to bring up the tweets from Hext that resurfaced again recently and got people talking about it. But just for clarity, when he was 15... he tweeted the N-word at the head admin at ESL. And it's like, where are the fucking adults in the room to explain to you why that would be a bad idea and why maybe if you want to go professional, don't do that? It just seems crazy to me, some of the things these people do. And as you saw there is no accountability. There is no self-reflection. Like, all the people around him are going, dang, bro, you committed theft. And the police turned up. Dang. Like and subscribe for more dangs. Like, yes, this is how the world works. By the way, in a serious industry, not only would you have had charges pressed against you, once you had served any penalty that was deemed fucking appropriate for that, you would never have a playing career ever again. You know, you would have to go and do something else. It's like, think about it. Like, in sports, we kind of, like, draw the line, like, depending on the sport. You know, DUIs, I guess everyone gets them. Fine. As long as you don't hit somebody. Okay. And then after that, there are, like, very harsh, strict penalties. You lose sponsors for doing crazy shit. Like, if a professional football player was involved in a theft, you know, or an assault or worse, there's obviously going to be professional ramifications for that. Mind you, football is so fucked up, someone like Greenwood still has a career, so I don't fucking know. But then again, also wasn't prosecuted, wasn't charged. So I just feel like with NA, there has to be, like, there can be no scene right now because it is in the hands of these stupid fucking teenagers with no fucking brains or self-preservation instincts, and there's no one to hold them accountable whatsoever. So while you're doing shit like this, by the way, you know, you're not developing your game, you're not developing your talent. How can you? You're getting banned from platforms. It's so ridiculous. And this is the state of NA and why, realistically, at this point, just fucking, it's over. There's just no, NA is just not relevant in CS anymore, for good or ill. You know, we shouldn't have events in NA anymore, frankly. I don't think we should. All it does is create visa problems. All it does is, you know, you have to worry about whether you're going to fucking sell out the venue. You have to do crazy shit. Like, if you need to stand in, bring in some fucking washed NA player, try and pander to the crowd. They're going to fucking cheat the entire time. Like, why? And for what? For a scene that doesn't exist? Yeah, I'm good, actually. It's time to move on until NA gets its shit together. It's a joke. And these are not isolated incidents by any stretch of the imagination. Not to mention the match fixing that never got fucking penalised, and how all those people have been able to just go on and have careers in either other games or still playing in the leagues that they fixed in. You can miss me with it. There's nothing to like about NACS anymore, unfortunately. All of this stream it'll be hurting Jason Lake's feelings right now. Captain America out there, but sorry, it's just over. It's hurting them too. As I said, if Complexity were to go into the NA talent pool right now, they're going to go, okay, so who should we get to replace Grim? I've been hearing lots about this young kid, MBG12. Wicked, guys. Yeah, this is why we import Europeans.